Alright, so I've made plushes of Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, and Tapu Bulu. It's now time to finish the set off with Tapu Koko. So I've got this cute little outdoor setup going on right now where I've got my sewing machine, I've got all of my Tapus who will soon be joined by a fourth member, ooh. I've got this little bag over here that has plastic eyes and zippers and such, although I do need to get some other supplies, so we're gonna go off to the store to go and get some. Okay, so the fabric store in this area is huge, and I was expected to find everything that I needed, but as I learned, bigger isn't always better, and it seems that despite this huge stock, they don't seem to have any minky at all, which is just frustrating, honestly. They have this dimpled stuff, which I honestly don't understand the purpose of, but I can't really use that, and, well, it just makes me wish I was back in California, really. Although, just as I was losing hope, I stumbled into this quilt kit, which ever so coincidentally happens to have exactly the orange fabric that I was looking for, and yes, I'm about to burn $25 in a pack that I won't use just so I can have one of the fabrics, but hey, this plush is worth it. Finding zippers was a lot simpler though. I was expecting this to be the problem since I did have specific requirements of needing detachable jacket style zippers, but they actually had a really good range of colours, types and sizes, so I managed to get two small yellow ones for just what I needed. Anyway, finally, we're gonna come to the back of the store to get some stuffing, and they actually have some pretty big bags for insanely cheap. Might not look like much on the camera, but you actually have to get these things by weight, and this thing is extremely bulky. So, all that came out to about $38, and yeah, you can tell where a majority of that money went, but oh well, let's get all this stuff back home. Alright, so now I've got everything that I need, let's take it home and put it all together. Let's see what we can make. Okay, we're gonna come back to the shell later, but now I'm gonna start on the body. So I'm gonna go from the head downwards, and to start on the head, I'm actually gonna take the head that I used for this Tapu Fini over here. It's about the same shape and size, so might as well use that one. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the torso, which is a pretty simple shape overall, but I'm going to bisect it in the center just so that I can add a little accentuation on the chest. So now I'm going to start doing the orange bit that leads onto the legs, and for this I'm just going to draw a circle, that's it. So when I checked the pack that I got for the orange fabric, I knew there wasn't much in there because it was mostly just this set for, and yeah, I didn't really get much for what I paid for, but like, that is not actually much. This is going to be enough for me to finish my plush, because you know, I got easily enough to go through the whole thing, but I mean, when you compare it to the amount of black that I have, and I think I got this for only £10, it's like, that is just, it's pretty pathetic. Okay, now we come on to a particularly difficult part, which is the Mohawk, which actually isn't that difficult from a shape perspective. It's pretty much just a flat shape that only really needs one pattern piece. But the problem is that it runs all the way down the body, so everything that we need on it has to be in this one pattern piece, and it has to go along the contours of the body itself, so it can be a little bit tricky to get. Also, it means one hell of a hand sewing task when I'm done with it, so... So this is what it looks like right now. I've just gotta sew all of these on. So at the moment this is sort of pinned on with these sort of things. I'm gonna sew that on off camera, and then I'll go on to the next part, which is probably going to be doing either the legs off at the end or the arms that will connect to the. No, I think I'll do the legs next actually, because the arms will connect to the big shell, and that's going to make it really awkward to do a lot of hand sewing. So legs first. Okay, so it actually rained out here for a bit, but I got this done, so it's all fully attached now. Look at that, it's all cool. So let's get started on the legs now. The legs aren't really going to be that hard. It's just 4 flat shapes that come out like that. So 2 of them being the same. One of them kind of comes out at this kind of angle, which will be interesting. But yeah, let's start on the legs. Okay, so here are the 3 legs, but it's getting considerably more rainy out here, so I'm actually going to take these inside and hand sew them on. Alright, so they're all a little wet here, but there's 4 legs that will go on like that. So here are the legs attached, so we got all of those on down there. That's what it looks like. And I think next I'm probably going to start focusing on the on those shells, which are kind of wet, so I might have to come back to them tomorrow. Alright, day 3 of making this thing, and now I'm actually going to start doing the arms that will connect to the 2 shells on either side. Now, this one is actually still a little bit wet from the rain, so I'm going to leave it out in the sunlight over here to sort of dry off a little bit. But I'm going to start working on the beak, and I actually have a new tripod to record with now, so that'll be really fun to use. that, let's start painting it. So I got these 3 paints. I got some black, I got some red, and I got some white, and that is all of the paint that I actually have, because I bought these ages ago while I was in Portugal, and I haven't found any others since, or at least I can't find any over here, which is, you know, where I'm making it. So I've got these little Seta color things, which, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Looking at the model, it does actually have some orange bits on there, but I'm gonna see if I can mix the red and the white together and see if I can get a kind of orange, and maybe on top of the yellow fabric it'll kind of come out looking alright. A beauty. I'm really happy with this. It looks really nice. I've got some still bits of fluff on it and such, but this is really cool. The orange thing that I mentioned before does actually work. In fact, it looks pretty similar to the color up here. It's I'm really happy with how that turned out. So I'm gonna have to leave this here to dry for a bit, and I'll have to come back to it later. I'll then unzip it and then paint some of the bits on the inside, because it's got a few little bits of markings on the inside. There is one bit that is yellow, but I think I'm actually going to embroider that instead, so I'm just going to sew in a little bit of a pattern for a yellow stripe in there. But other than that, I'm so close to done! Plush. I am really happy with this. It's so cute, and it's so it just is really nice. And the zipper thing works as well. You can see over here the zipper is kind of covered a little bit by the beak, but if I come over, I'll do the back first because it has the 2 segments, of course, but the zipper on the back, and then you just kind of gotta stuff him in the stuff him in there, clip that. And there he is. There he is all zipped up. And this actually goes alongside my entire set of Tapus, because I've got this Feeny that I made first, which I did while I was over in Leamington Spa over in England, and here she is looking all fancy there. Then I followed it with this Tapu Lele, which I made while I was in Santa Cruz, California, and you can see her right there. She's actually probably one of my favorites, although now that I've made the Coco, I'm debating it, but this is still adorable. And then I made this Bulu next while I was in Portugal, so we'll just zip this one out. And oh yeah, there that is. So that was done in Porto, in Portugal. And then finally, over here in Kitchener, Canada, we've got this guy who, I mean, we've already seen it there, but let's just unzip it and I couldn't be happier with this. This is the cutest, most adorable thing, and I now have a full set! Thank you so much for watching. This video took a long time to make, so I'd really appreciate it if you left a like and commented on what you thought. If you want to see some of the other things that I do, including more plushes, art, and my solo indie game project, you can follow my social media or join my Discord server. Subscribe for more videos like this, and if you really love what I do, you can support it all on Patreon. Links will be in the description.